So, I'm Canadian, and we all know that Canadians love ice sports. So Red Bull and I partnered up to figure out the science behind one of the most extreme sports on ice. Ice cross downhill. If you don't know anything about the sport, it basically takes all of the fun of having a skate at the rink, changes the angle to like 90 degrees, and makes it a race. Anyway, I've always wondered what makes ice slippery, because it is kind of weird if you think about it. You can't just slide along any surface. I've tried. So what's so special about ice? Well, we figured it out and put it to the test during Red Bull Crashed Ice Marseille. It is as terrifying as it sounds. I would know. Riders can reach up to 30 miles per hour on the track, which makes sense because ice and angles make for very speedy time, but why? What makes ice so slippery? Intuitively, the answer should be that ice is just frozen water and water is slippery. But when ice is below the freezing temperature of water, how could there be a liquid layer? This question has haunted chemists, physicists, and people falling on ice for centuries. They originally believed that because ice is less dense than liquid water, applying your concentrated weight through an ice skate adds enough pressure to destroy the ice's molecular structure, making it melt. The problem is that you would need to weigh a lot to make a noticeable difference. Instead, it has to do with the actual nature of ice. You see, even though it's frozen water, it isn't as frozen as you think. There's actually a layer of liquid on its surface ranging between 1 and 94 nanometers thick. That is 10,000 times smaller than bacteria, so I don't blame you for not noticing. This happens to basically every solid near its melting point. But for most other solids, that point is either way too hot or way too cold for humans to be at. Water and ice exist in a slippery slope of solid and liquid, allowing riders, and me, to glide right past the finish line. That's right, Red Bull flew me out to check out the track. And in Marseille, with 20-degree weather and sunny skies, there was definitely a liquid layer to be found. But here's the thing. When they asked me if I knew how to skate, I didn't want to say no just in case they didn't let me do it. But I didn't want to say yes because I'm not a filthy liar. So I settled on, I'm Canadian, which you may think means, of course I know how to skate. I was born skating. I just slid right out of my mom and onto the ice. Whoop! I'm sorry for putting you through that visual. I was very nervous. But the truth is, I don't know how to skate. And I don't even know why I lied because it became immediately obvious.
This is the scariest roller coaster in the world!
Okay, I'm suddenly in fear. Oh, okay.
Deep breath.
I'm so out of shape.
I'm going down! I'm gonna just lie down!
Okay, she can do this. Ready? How do you skate again? This is the emotional validation I need.
Now you can do it. This is a little hill.
And then she's down.
I think I nailed that!
And that's why you don't lie, kids. Now what about you guys? Did you know about Red Bull Crashed Ice before this video? Because I hadn't, and it makes me feel like such a bad Canadian not knowing all of the ice sports. Tell me down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe. If you do, maybe Red Bull will keep making me do things I don't know how to do. But either way, have a lovely day.